Good evening, this is News 13 for Thursday, February 9th, 2017. I'm Matt Gordon. Thanks for watching. Teens and young adults took to Facebook Tuesday night seeking answers as to why the Bardstown Police Explorers Program meetings had suddenly been halted. In a phone call with Bardstown Police Chief Steve Urim Wednesday afternoon, the chief said he had removed the program coordinator from his duties for internal department reasons. Urim would not elaborate further on the removal or status of the officer, citing it only as an internal police matter. The Bardstown Police Explorers Program was founded in 2006 and offers teens and young adults hands-on experience in law enforcement and criminal justice through meetings, activities, training, competition, and community service. The idea of Explorers originally began as a program in the Boy Scouts in the 1930s. Today, police explorers clubs and posts exist across the country. Posts and emails from Tuesday and Wednesday also credited recent success to the program into the direction of its coordinator, Officer Robert Monroe, who began leading the program a few months ago. Flagey Memorial Hospital, part of Kentucky One Health, has named the Daisy Award and Rose Award winners for its fourth quarter of 2016. Stephanie Bradshaw, RN, was the recipient of the Daisy Award. Jamie Hull, unit clerk and nursing assistant, received the Rose Award. The Daisy Award is a nationwide program that celebrates the extraordinary clinical skill and compassionate care given by nurses every day. Bradshaw is known for always creating a positive environment for coworkers and patients. Similarly, the Rose Award is a program that honors Flagey Memorial Hospital's non-nursing personnel. The Rose Award, short for Recognition of Service Excellence, celebrates unsung heroes who work tirelessly to provide the best possible service. Hull is being honored for her work, leadership, and her commitment to her coworkers and patients. She is known for going the extra mile to ensure patients, staff, and visitors are taken care of, and is always willing to help a fellow coworker by taking on extra tasks at the hospital. I'm now joined in the studio by Randy Patrick from the Kentucky Standard. Now, Randy, we both attended the City Council meeting, which was Tuesday night, and there was a few things on the agenda, but there was a couple of big topics on the agenda that we were kind of looking for, and one of those was the whistleblower ordinance, which they talked about at length quite a bit. Another topic that they talked about at length was the iPad issue of the council. Now, what were some of your feelings on the iPad issue?
Well, the iPad, it's not an ordinance; it's a municipal order, so it doesn't take two readings. It was put in place that night. But what that is intended to do, it's very broad, very far-reaching. If you may recall, when the investigation into city government began, the mayor issued what he doesn't like to call a gag order. He said he doesn't like that term, but it's kind of what it is. It basically said that city council can't go behind his back and talk to the city employees and get information from them. So if they want information, they have to go through him.
Right.
He has to go through the department heads. Department heads have to go through to the employees, get the information. It has to come back to him. He has to review it, and then he'll give it to the city council member.
So he kind of ends up having his hands on everything.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to work. Well, this basically breaks that log jam. It gives the council members the authority to ask the department heads for information, and the department heads get it for them without necessarily getting an open records request or anything like that. And then the other thing that this does is, with regard to the iPads, the city issued iPads to all the council members. And told them at the time that they weren't for personal use, and it turns out that they were using them for personal use, taking pictures and things like that, or some of them were.
Right.
But at the time, it didn't issue them government email addresses. So what was happening was they were syncing their own emails from their iPhones or whatever to their iPads.
Yeah.
And Mackenzie Mattingly, who was acting police chief at the time, when they turned the iPads back in, he looked into Keisha Copeland's iPad said that she was like had excess use of her iPad for personal business. Well, it wasn't for personal business; it was for her own business. So what this does is it gives the council members control of their iPads, and basically blocks the executive authority, the mayor or his administration, from going into people's personal email and stuff like that.
Because that's what was kind of brought up in the meeting. Was it was close to being a breach of privacy, with some of these emails, because in the investigation, in some of the emails they were looking through, that was in Keisha Copeland's emails. Those were not all business emails. Some of those were personal emails that they were allowed to look at because it was on that iPad that just so happened to be synced with her cell phone.
Right, and she was using it. She has like a personal business, and she was using that for her business and for other things as well. Her phone she was using for her re-election campaign, and they were saying that she was using her iPad for all of that. Well, I don't know how they know what goes through the iPad and what goes through the phone, but anyway, another thing with the iPads is it allows them. This is kind of touchy situation, but it allows them to disable the location device, the GPS. And the IT people at the city don't like that idea. That they say it's okay if they set up their own, if they have their own password and all that, so that they can control it. But the council members are a little antsy about the mayor being able to track them wherever they go.
Right. Now, he did bring up the point that it was more or less for security reasons if they get lost
or stolen.
Right. That they would be able to track them then. That it wasn't necessarily meant to, see where all the council members were at any given time.
Right. And then the other controversial issue was this municipal order also allows them to put software on their iPads.
So they can add apps.
They can add apps.
Right.
And the IT department has suggested that if they're going to do that, then they use a different program, and they also only add apps through iTunes. Right. And the mayor texted me that night and said, that's very dangerous, because if you consider what happened to Target and some other businesses, they could be the victims of a cyber attack, that it makes it a much broader base for attacking.
Right. Now, not to spend too much time on the iPad issue, but another thing a lot of people are wondering about is the whistleblower ordinance that was brought up. So how did you feel that went?
Well, it was interesting. I still don't know why the mayor delayed publishing the whistleblower ordinance.
Well, he never really gave an answer. And,
he didn't.
And the council was asking, for an answer. Why hasn't it been sent, and why hasn't it been published?
His answer was kind of a non-answer. It's
Right.
I've got 30 days to do it, and I'll do it. I'll get around to doing it when I want to do it.
Yeah.
But we did get word this morning that it has been sent to the paper, and they've asked that it be published next Wednesday.
Okay.
Now the reason that's an issue is because an ordinance requires 2 readings. You have to have a reading, and then have to wait at least 24 hours and meet again to have a second reading. And on the second reading is when they actually vote on it and enact it, and then the mayor has 10 days to veto it, and he has 30 days to publish it. And it doesn't become law until it's published in this newspaper, the Kentucky Standard,
All right.
which is the newspaper of record here in the county.
And that should be in there Wednesday,
It should be.
the day after Valentine's Day.
And it was interesting, the other ordinances that were passed that night, and they were in the following Friday. This happened Tuesday, January 24th, and they were in by the 27th, which is usually what happens. You vote on it on Tuesday. If it passes, it's in the paper on Friday. But for some reason, it wasn't this time, but now it's going to be a little later, half a month later.
Yeah, well, I guess he eventually got around to wanting to do that this morning, after he was pushed just a little bit by the city council members.
He was nudged after he told John Kelly that he'll do it when he gets around to doing it. Well, at the end of the meeting, Councilman Roland Williams,
Coach
said-
Rowe.
Coach Rowe,
Yeah.
said, get it done.
Yeah.
There's no reason for dragging your feet on this.
And I agree with him. All right, so you can check out some more of Randy's work in Wednesday's paper, which comes out today. Or I'm sorry, it was yesterday. Friday edition tomorrow, and the big one, I know Forrest has a big story coming out in the Sunday's edition. So be sure to pick those up off the stands. Thanks again, Randy.
All right, thank you, Matt.
When we come back, Pete Zubeidi is in with sports, and we take a look at your 7-day forecast. Stay tuned.